Well, guys, it's been another exhilarating weekend of Currie Cup action as we head into the final round of the competition before the playoffs. And we had some great results, we had some drama, not so much controversy this time around, and some heartbreak for some teams and delight and relief for others. Welcome to Rapid Chat with Angus as I will recap this weekend's action and look towards the last round of the competition as well. So we started off with the Pumas and the Lions on Saturday afternoon, where the Pumas stayed in the fight as they have all season, but just couldn't get the job done and put in an 80-minute performance to beat the Lions. They came close yet again into performing an upset as they did with the Stormers and as they did with the Cheetahs, I think, at one stage. But then again, they just couldn't get the job done, unfortunately, and it's been the story for the Mino sides, all competition now. Greekos were another one who just couldn't catch a break, and some teams got lucky in some regard when it came to results. But at the end of the day, I feel the top four that qualified are the top four that deserve it. So no complaints on my side. I assure our Cheetahs fan, of course. But the Pumas, they really stayed in the fight and they really gave it to the Lions. And it was a good test of character for the Lions who will come up against the Bulls team who hasn't played for 2 or 3 weeks. But ultimately, the Lions beat them 25 points to 33. And I always talk about moments in the rugby, small moments in the rugby. And the Pumas were ahead at halftime and they received the kickoff through Willie Engelbrecht and he knocked it on, which resulted into 7 points against his team, and that swung the whole game on its head. If you look back to it, there was one turning point, and that was the moment. And that's just how small the margins in sport are. You can never ever be too safe when it comes to the game of rugby. Anyway, so we went to Bloemfontein where we had the Cheetahs up against Western Province. Cheetahs, oh damn. I said to you guys, I thought it was going to be close, and I wasn't sure who was going to win it, and I was right. I picked Western Province by 4 on Super Brew. They won by 2. I knew it was going to be a close game, and anyone could still take it. And at one point, it looked like the Cheetahs are going to take it. Western Province, I think they were dominant for that first 60 minutes, being 14 points ahead. And then in a matter of 5 or 6 minutes, 14-point turnaround came to make the game 23 all. And then they went another penalty hit with Franstein's booming boot, giving it to Province, and then a try scored by Mbonambi, who stayed quite long, actually, one has to say. And then another penalty and a penalty back, and Tim Swiel being the hero in Bloemfontein, and Western Province came to win in Bloem for the first time in 2014, ultimately kicking the Cheetahs out of the competition and cementing their spot in the top four. And then we went to Durban where the Sharks ran riot against the Griquas. And like I said, for the Mino teams, they always stay in the fight. But 28 points in the second half against Griquas, and well, I think that summed up everything. They just couldn't put in 80-minute performance, and that's been the story for the Mino side. The Sharks winning that one for 47 points to 19. So how does this affect the lock though? It does mean that the Bulls are still on top of 35 points with 2 games in hand. They play the Lions this Wednesday in their rescheduled match, and then they play the Pumas on Saturday at Loftus. So I think in the Bombela Stadium, my bad. So it could be interesting. But according to my calculations, there's a very, very slim chance that anyone can actually overtake the Bulls. I don't think there's anyone who can actually overtake them at a point in time for a couple of reasons. And it's just off the top of my head now, but I think if the Lions manage to beat them without a bonus point and they beat the Pumas, just beat them, not even with bonus point, the superior point difference should put them ahead. If the worst case scenario does come that they lose to the Pumas and to the Lions, and Western Province beat the Sharks with a bonus point, I think, then then they can be overtaken. But I think for all intents and purposes, the Bulls are safe on top. It's about those last the remaining 3 teams in the competition and fighting for the second spot. And Western Province are in a good position to cement their second spot if they can get a W over the Sharks this past weekend, or this weekend ahead, sorry. So it's going to be an interesting one at Newlands with Western Province up against the Shark. It's been their bogey team for the last 10 years now, really, if you think about it, just like the Bulls have been the Sharks bogey team. So it's going to be interesting to see how these 2 teams will square up. I mean, the Sharks have been hot and cold. Western Province have been consistently inconsistent, if that makes sense. And then obviously the Sharks on 33 points, and the Lions as well at 33, and the Cheetahs on 27. When they will make the playoffs regardless. And looking at the matches, like I mentioned, the Bulls will take on the Lions this Wednesday, and then Griquas will take on the Cheetahs, which effectively is a dead rubber. And Western Province will take on the Sharks, which is a big one because that could determine a lot in the log. And the Pumas will take on the Bulls, which wouldn't determine too much, but I think that the Bulls will want to get into the competition playoffs with a bit with a win under the belt firstly and good momentum. So that is the Currie Cup standings and situations for 2020-2021. We will have no champion in 2020, but we might have to in 2021. We'll see how this year unfolds. And in speaking of that, the British and Irish Lions tour, ladies and gentlemen, we are on the verge of the most disappointing news of the year, as there are talks that by the end of this month, January, there will be a call made on whether this tour will go ahead. I'm not sure how accurate the reports are because some say cancelled, some say it might be postponed. I mean, I'm all for postponing and looking at the current situation because I think that only after 2021 most people in the world would be vaccinated and it will be safe to continue the tour, but it will be a crying darn shame and a massive financial loss to South Africa and the Lions if the Lions can't tour South Africa in 2021, or if they do tour and no fans can pitch up, only a certain amount of fans can pitch up. So I think for the good of the game, it's best to postpone till 2022. I know that a lot of us have our tickets secured, and I'm one of the lucky ones who got for the Stormers game, the Cape Town test, the FNB test, and the Ellis Park test. I was looking so forward to this, but I've been reluctant to book my flights because I've got accommodation to wherever I'm going to go, but I've been so reluctant to book my flights because I'm not sure what's going to happen, and my gut feel was right. We don't know what's going to happen going forward. I mean, this tour was so highly anticipated, and I hope it's only postponed till 2022 and not being cancelled because it will have such big financial implications on both parties. And I think more so on South Africa, who's already but in a pinch, financially wise. But guys, thanks again for tuning in. And before I forget, Happy New Year. Gosh, I mean, it doesn't feel like a new year to me. Normally the parties I attend are quite good and quite big, but I was just with the parents at home, mainly because of this pandemic. I said to myself that one missed New Year's party won't kill me, but going to one might just. So I opted to go for the safe option and keep the penalty instead of going for touch. But I feel that it's been a good decision overall. And yeah, guys, I hope just for the best for all of us. I mean, we've had a tough year in 2020, but the good thing is I got to know you guys, my loyal viewers, you guys who know who you are. And if you are new, please subscribe. Like I always put into the video starter and finish. But yeah, guys, enjoy. I will be back with another talk on Pablo Matera's handling of his situation by the Argentinian Rugby Union. It is quite a controversial and sensitive topic. And I think that every person around the world will look at it differently. And in South Africa, we have a big racial history, as many people know. And I think that it's something we should talk about. But till then, adios, amigos. Cheers.